believe in balance, is the way to the heart, another path for understanding that love given out is returned to you. And a lesson in the way to the heart is that you shouldn't end up attaching negativity to another person's inability to love.
Sure. This is a very sweet and suffering thought. It comes from a lot of pain, a lot of kind of being misused or not being appreciated, which is the state of every human being. We all go through that. The key to this, the answer to this, is that you live that love in that moment that you're giving it. It's not a later thing. Nothing's happening later. When you're loving or you're giving, your body is receiving that. Your organisms, your liver, and everything is working and functioning in peace. When you're angry, you're suffering at that moment. And it all happens now. There's no after. So the non-attachment, which means not looking to the future or not looking to what I'm going to get out of this, frees you to enjoy the moment. This is what's important about non-attachment, because you can live now. If you're attached or you're looking for a return, you can't live now and you don't live. And you can die saying, what happened to my life? That's the key to the whole thing. But you can't, they're never going to be able to give you back. And the secret is being able to receive. And so when you know you spontaneously are receiving it, when you're giving it, it's all done. You're satisfied. And this is why you don't need anybody, but you need everybody, because you love everybody. And so everybody that you meet, you receive from and you give to, but because you know how to receive.
One of the things I'm especially interested in is spiritualism, and a lot of the teachers that I've worked with have a sense of, or they have a sense too, of the spirit guides around them. It could be beings that we've known in this life, could be relatives and so on, or others. And I wonder how that relates to you, if you have a sense of spirit guides around you.
Sure. This is a great question. We even started to do this a little bit before. See, what the big problem of being on the earth is that we're lonely. There's nobody here, it seems like. We're surrounded by things, but there's no intimacy. There's no real tight, nice relationship like it's supposed to be. Somebody that understands me. Someone that responds to my problems. Our spirit guides do that. We focus, because there's only, actually we'll just talk about profound things, I guess. There's only one energy, really. And this energy concentrates itself in different spaces. And when a concentration of energy feels like it exists and is separate from another, when it believes that it's an entity and it has a relationship with other stuff. Because we get so lost and lonely here, we relate to aspects of ourselves as our intimate friends. These are spirit guides. It's us. Even though they are other people or other energies or whatever we want to call them, it's really still only us, because there's only one of us here. And this one of us is everything, and we're a part of that everything. Or everything is a part of us, whichever way you want to look at it from that point of view. So, but this is a point, you know, it was in 1975 when I wanted to only be unconditional love, because I knew that everything else was just a byproduct. I didn't want to have to call up, hello, Armedius, or whatever my spirit guide is. Look, I got a decision I got to make. Can we get down to this? I said, that's ridiculous. I should be that spirit in this body that just does the stuff, Armedius or whatever the name is. And so I know I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm doing this. And they say, no, I don't really know why. I just feel that I'm to do this. That's the spirit running my life. And this is what everybody is, but they don't believe it. And they know it, but they don't believe it. This is really funny, right? Because they know that they know everything, but they don't believe it anymore because it doesn't seem to work here. So they've lost faith in what they already know they are. You see, we're invulnerable. We're omnipotent, but we're also impotent and really vulnerable, because we're human beings. We're both of those things. And combining those things is the problem. Understanding that we're both of these things. So we keep ourselves company, either with Janine or with my brother or my mother or my daughter or my son or whatever. We're keeping ourselves company in the same thing that spirit guides do. It's that deeper part of yourself that is keeping you company and loving you, because sometimes we with our minds aren't capable of loving ourselves like we should be loved.
So, Wayne, if we are the sailing ship and we're supposed to keep our ego in the dinghy that's being towed behind in an effort to be open and not manipulative or any of the harsh things that our egos make us, is that the key?
No, see, this is the problem. We think that if we do anything, because if we do anything in this world, in this dimension, we're touching thousands or millions of things. So we're being manipulative. If we can't be manipulative, we can't exist here. We will not allow ourselves to be here. because we can't hurt anything. So we can't even breathe. We really should be like the Jains, you know, with the cloth over our mouths because little microbes get in there. That's the problem. We think that it's bad to be, so we don't allow ourselves to be. All of my work is completely focused on the opposite point, that you have to be in order to do something. You have to be here to say, thy will be done. Because otherwise you say, thy will be done, and God says, with what? There's nobody here. It's just this mass of wanting to please everybody. And so manipulate means free people from prisons. I'm manipulating. I have to have courage and strength and power to do those things. I have to manipulate, because I'm being manipulated and I'm always manipulating here. That's the way the world is. If we think that we're being eaten or being used, or that we're eating something, we can't do that. I can't eat. Somebody says, I don't eat animals. And I say, but you eat 350 little plants that never even saw the sun when you eat your soybean sprouts at lunch. I'm not sure that that's better, because those are plants that never got to live. I know that it's terrible. We're assassins just by being here. We have to kill stuff to live. When we breathe, we're killing stuff. That's us, though. It's not something else. It's all part of us. So I eat myself to live, and I give myself to the other parts of myself. This is how it works. And this is releases from that fear of hurting, because a loving person like yourself, Janine, the last thing on earth that we want to do is hurt somebody. And so this leads you to complete inaction if you follow that to the end. If you follow that thought to the end. So you have to feed yourself. This is why the exercises are important, because it's a way to feed yourself. Get your strength, and then your perceptions are clear about the decisions to make, because you can say anything to anybody if you're full of love, because they'll accept everything, because all they want from love is spontaneity. But our fear of hurting them doesn't allow us to say the things that would catalyze all the reactions to bring people to happiness. The first thing, of course, is that somebody's happy. And when you're happy, you can facilitate that. I guess that's all the time. We have time for one more quick one, maybe done.
Wayne, what does the idea of freedom mean to you?
Yeah, that's a fun one, isn't it? That was 1973. I figured it out. I said, wow, this freedom stuff, that's just a state of mind, thinking that you can choose what you want to be attached to. Because you have to be attached. There's a lot of people into non-attachment. They say, well, I don't do that because I'm not attached. I'm not attached. I said, very simply, you're attached to non-attachment. That's the way it is. So freedom is the act or the state of mind thinking that you're capable of choosing what you're going to do or what you're going to be attached to. So if you're always spontaneous, you're always free. Is that it? We can end on that. If you're always spontaneous, you're always free. Remember, the most important thing to do is breathe. And then you can be spontaneous. Otherwise, you can't even be spontaneous. Thank you very much, Way of the Heart.